Hi everybody, welcome back to the second very delayed part of this two-part episode where I'm painting Kotare's 132 scale Spitfire, the upper surfaces. After the first episode where I'd painted the underside black and white scheme, I then went on to start to do the upper surface camouflage, the dark earth and green. And if you saw the video that I did last week, you'll know that I ran into some problems with that, with the dark earth lifting over an area here on the wing root and over the top of the cowling, where I'd applied some lacquer gloss aluminium. And I think on reflection there, the problem that I had was that I didn't use a lacquer thinners in the dark earth. So it didn't burn, it didn't bond properly into the aluminium below. So the tape just pulled it off. So as you know, if you've seen that little update that I did last week, I stripped the model down completely and I've now masked it off again, ready to tackle the upper surfaces for a second time. So hopefully it'll go a bit better on this occasion. I'm going to start with the dark earth, and for this I mix two Tamiya colours. The first one is flat earth, the second is khaki, XF52 and XF49 respectively, and I just mix those in equal parts. To my eye, the Tamiya dark earth or flat earth straight out of the bottle is a bit too red. The khaki, really it's a strange colour to add. You wouldn't think it'd make that much of a difference because it's got a slight green tinge to it. But it gives you, in an equal mix, this sort of shade. So you can see how different it is. It's much sandier than the standard earth colour straight from the Tamiya bottle. And it gives a nice faded dark earth effect, so I like that mix. Sometimes you can add a little bit of yellow into it to make it a little bit more bright, but I like it as it is with just the earth and the khaki mix in it. Especially when you're putting it over a mottled surface like this, you get plenty of tonal variation, some darker, some lighter. And we'll see how it goes on. I'll get some in the airbrush and we'll make a start with this. So what I'm trying to do here is just get some very thin layers on this undersurface mottling, and it's just a case of building that paint up. It's thinned down to about 60% with thinners, so it enables you to gradually work the paint in until you can see the right amount of mottle just coming through, and it just breaks the surface of the earth up. So when I'm applying this dark earth, I like to use an irregular pattern. So rather than spraying the paint from side to side or back to front, I'm just letting the airbrush move around the surface and that adds to the impression of the patchy surface on the paint. So sometimes a heavier application covers up more of the undersurface painting. So it's a technique that you can play around with, but the knack with it is to know when to stop. At this stage, obviously, the underpainting is too prominent. It just doesn't look right. But there comes a point where you can easily completely obliterate the underside. So it's just a case of keeping an eye on the application and, as I said, applying it in nice thin coats. Getting closer, but it's still a bit too prominent. So that's nearly there now. I'll just move on a little bit around the airframe and just leave that to dry for a while. I might need to come back and do a little bit more on it. Okay, so that's the dark earth applied to the intensity that I'm looking for over this underpainting. And just what I like to do at the end is just to bring the airbrush back a little bit and just lightly go over the surface just to blend things in a little bit. You have to be very careful at this stage because it's very easy to go too far. Okay, I'm happy with the dark earth there. So now I'll mask the camouflage scheme off using some 1mm masking tape. I'm looking for a hard edge camouflage demarcation here. So this is going to take quite a while. I'll just do one or two areas on camera, then I'll finish the rest of the scheme off before coming back to paint it. Okay, so as you can see, this is going to take quite a bit of time, so I'll get on with it and we'll come back and put the green on. Okay, all the masking's done now, ready for the top surface green. And for that I'm just going to use Tamiya's XF81 dark green RAF straight from the bottle. It's a nice olive colour. It's a decent match, I think, for RAF camouflage green. So I'll get some of that decanted into the airbrush and we'll get the camouflage sorted out. I'm going to need to remove this masking to paint the rudder. So that's the first time we can see the effect of the brown mix, the earth mix with the green. Okay, let's get the rest of the masking off now the rudder's done. Okay, so I'm happy with that. The model required very little in the way of touch-up. Just one or two ragged edges here and there, but nothing to complain about. And it's just one of those things, the more time you take on the masking, the less time you're going to spend afterwards correcting mistakes. So it's worth spending a bit of time on it, I think. The underside I masked off completely. It's very easy to get oversprayed down onto the underside of the wings, particularly if you only mask around the edges of the underside of the wings. Somehow the mist from the paint has a habit of just marking the underside where you haven't got the tape, and when you take the tape off you can see it. So again, it's just worth spending that little bit of extra time to mask off the entire undersurfaces. So now that I'm happy with the camouflage scheme, I want to just seal it all in with a coat of Tamiya X22 clear, and that'll also prepare the surface for the decals, which we'll be doing next time. Okay, so that's where I wanted to be this time last week, really. The models had 2 coats of the X22 clear. It's gone on really nicely. The second coat I thinned down with about 80% thinners, Tamiya thinners, and that just enables you to get quite a bit of the gloss varnish on. Gives a really nice finish on the second coat. So I'm pretty happy with that. I like the earth shade, which is the khaki mix with the Tamiya earth colour, and I'm looking forward to getting some decals on next time. So I'll leave this to dry now for 24-36 hours, something like that, and then in the next episode I'll get on and we can get the decals on. So all's well that ends well, and I'm really glad that I took the time to strip the model down. I don't think I'd have got the finish that I've got here messing about with touch-ups after the mishaps with the masking tape last time. So I'll leave you in this part with some photographs of the airframe, and hope to see you for part 5, and we'll get those decals on. So thanks for your patience waiting for this one, and hopefully I'll see you in another few days. Bye for now, everybody.